Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I'm Chanique.
This is Mike.
Please let me finish my damn
No.
intro. Damn.
Took too long.
Fuck this. All right. And on this podcast, right, we talk about movies and music. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the new movie, and I guess the Star Wars franchise called Solo, a Star Wars story. And there will be spoilers. You are warned. But I would give this movie an A. I really enjoyed this movie, and I recommend that you see it in theaters. You know, some movies, you can wait till the DVD. I say see this in theaters. Good points. I love the characters. I love the acting. I love the story. It was concise. I didn't really see any plot holes specifically about this. Maybe Michael did, but I didn't see any. I thought it was cool to see Han Solo, like you found out how he got his name. You found out, like, kind of what made him who he was when you first met him. So I thought that was really cool. You saw how he met Chewie and everything, so I thought that was fun. And overall, I think for me, I'm liking the one-offs more than the actual, in the main trilogy. Or, is it a trilogy? Yeah, it is a trilogy. But, like, episode 8 and 7, nah, bruh. But I did like all the one-offs, including Rogue One and Solo. I think Solo is the first movie this year that I've given an A that we've done. I can't think of any other ones.
Nope, yep, probably not. I mean, what do you give Black Panther?
Oh, no, I gave Black Panther an A.
Okay.
Black Panther got an A. I think
y'all already know I gave it an A+. You ain't got to... Listen, go watch the podcast, yo. Wakanda forever in this bitch.
What the fuck? Okay, yeah, Black Panther got an A. Who knows about the rest of the year?
I think I gave what's the name also a Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, Quiet Place we did give an A. That's a solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Star Wars, Solo, a Star Wars story, is a good movie in general. In my opinion, you don't even have to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it.
I agree.
It's that good of a story, and the acting is on point. But if you're a Star Wars fan, I think you enjoy the little nods more. So yeah, definitely go see that movie. Would you go see it? What you think?
I mean, of course, I went to see it. So yeah,
Do you regret seeing it?
Absolutely not. This is an absolute A in my book. I mean, I'm not too like knee deep into the Star Wars lore to like figure out a couple of little plugins here and there for like cameos and familiar names or whatever it is. Because after the fact, I think I went looking around and I found like there are like a whole bunch of things I missed out on. I'm like, oh well, great. But even if you don't know these things, these are like things where it's like it's a part of the story as in itself. It's not particularly like something you got to know outside of the story in order to like appreciate what it was. Cause all the characters were great. Lando was great. His droid was great. Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover. Technically, it's the other way around. But yeah, like he was great. I found a whole bunch of likable characters, likable bad guy characters, likable good guy characters. I don't know. What am I trying to say here? Han Solo is one of those characters where it's like there wasn't really too much information on him before he met up with I think Obi-Wan on Tatooine. I might be wrong about that, but I know like in A New Hope is where he first debuted. And I was like, I don't really know much about this guy other than like, he does pretty cool things. I knew about him from that point on, but we know nothing about him before that. Like, how he met Chewie. We know that he won the Millennium Falcon in a gamble. We actually got to saw that gamble in the movie here. And we got to know that, he became a smuggler, which technically he was smuggling some pretty serious shit in this movie as well. So, yeah, this movie was great. Great action, by the way. Probably great. I can't even exaggerate how much I love the action in this movie. And I'll also agree with Shanique here when it comes to the one-offs. I think they're having a slight edge, or at least making good competition for the mainline Star Wars stories. I mean, trilogy, should I say? Because I did love Force Awakens. Last Jedi, I like the movie, but I think Force Awakens set a higher bar for me. But Rogue One and this movie proved that you don't need to be within the main Star Wars continuity to make a good movie. You don't really need the Jedis. You don't really need Darth Vader, even though he's a pretty big part of it. But I enjoyed them all the same. I'm starting to realize that the galaxy that and the entire lore behind Star Wars is deep, but it's plenty to love inside the little cracks you can find. So yeah, they did a good job with this one.
You just realizing that?
Well, I'm not just realizing it. Well, no, this is the only two one-offs though.
Yeah, but like after 10 movies, you could tell it's pretty deep.
Well, yeah, deep inside as far as the main continuity, not deep as far as like the stuff we don't know about. Like for Rogue One, that's how the rebellion got started. In this movie, this is kind of how the rebellion got started as well, but that's like more focused on the character instead. But I feel like the animated Star Wars movies and TV shows, they do a good job of it too. Unfortunately, I don't keep up with them. I know some of them won some awards or whatnot, from like Oscars or whatever. What's Oscars? I'm thinking about the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm probably thinking about the wrong thing. But yeah, they got like a bunch of good awards. But yeah, they're all pretty good. And like the side stories for Star Wars, I'll absolutely be following them around if decide to come back with another one next year. Because Shanique mentioned prior to the podcast, they might be doing one for the mercenary known as Boba Fett, which I would be 1,000% on board with. One of my favorite Star Wars characters.
And, for me, who's just like a really, really, really casual fan, have no idea who Boba Fett is.
I mean, if you saw the movies, which you did.
I did, and he wasn't memorable, so I was like...
He's the guy with the jetpack and the whatever. You'll recognize when you see a picture of him later on. It's fine. Whatever, moving on.
Okay. So, at this time... spoiler alert. Even though Mike already started, because he always does.
I mean, you already spoiler alerted him before anyway.
I know, but you gotta reiterate, because people sometimes don't listen.
That's a people problem, not a Michael problem.
Hey, I'm just trying to make it, spoiler alert. At this point, if you have not seen the movie, which we do recommend you see the movie, and you don't care about being spoiled, hey, stay here. If you have seen the movie and you want to hear and you don't mind, whatever, stay here as well. And so, let's get into it. I want to talk about, what did you think of Han in this movie?
Han, I absolutely
Even though he's not my favorite character, but we'll get to my favorite character. What do you think of Han?
I absolutely thought did a great job, well, at least the actor anyway, did a great job portraying what a young version of him probably would have been. Because I kind of saw him as that character when he would have been younger anyway. Like, kind of brash, And to be honest, they actually go way before where I thought they'd actually start him off with. Because like, they started as, when they say origin story, they mean like origin story. Like, he was like just like a dude on some planet, just, scrounging for some crime boss or whatever. And like, they made him look good. They made him look brash. Like, he doesn't really plan. He kind of just goes in head first. Even though he does have like a good like element of strategy to him. He made a good impression on me, and I'm glad that he is as big of a deal in Star Wars as he is, because this kind of shows like it's his first real like hurrah was actually like a epic deal, and I'm like, damn, this is a hell of a guy here. So yeah, I thought they did a hell of a good job with Han and the characters around him, especially with his relationship with Chewie. I thought seeing that especially was pretty cool, because Chewie's one of the most recognizable Star Wars characters as well, which is kind of weird. No, because ain't nobody gonna be talking about Jar Jar anytime soon. But still,
Jar Jar's my nigga though. He makes me laugh. I don't think he don't even annoy me. He just makes me laugh. But yeah, I thought Han, like, I admit he doesn't really look like a young Harrison Ford to me, but I think he embodied the character, and that's what's more important to me. He had the look, but like facially, I would not be like, yeah, you could be a young Harrison Ford. No, I didn't get that at all from the actor. But I thought he embodied the character, and I thought, I believed everything he was saying. Definitely acting was really good. It made me appreciate Han Solo more, because, most recent memory, spoilers if you watch The Last Jedi. No, not Last Jedi. Force Awakens. Yeah, he goes by his stupid ass son.
Kylo Ren.
Hey, I was close.
You had like, okay, I ain't gonna get into that, yo. Oh my god.
Kylo.
She tried, folks.
He has another name in the movie. They call him, instead of Kylo, they call him something else too.
Kylo Ren? No, what's they call him?
No, he has a different name. It's not just Kylo.
Oh yeah, he's a something Solo. Ben Solo. No, was it Ben Solo?
Yeah, Ben.
Ben Solo. That's right.
Yeah. Ben is dumb as fuck in the future. He's not a good father in the future, but it's okay. You know, he in the time that we saw him, he was a really good guy. He stood up for what he believed in. He had his own mind, so it made sense why he was what he was. Mm-hmm. And you saw what made up his character. So I thought that was really cool. Let's get into my favorite character, Kira. And apparently it's spelled with a Q and not a K, like I think it is.
Interesting.
It's like Qira. With the asterisks and all that, the accent thing. But she's my favorite character, and she's played by Emily Clark, who is Daenerys on Game of Thrones.
Oh wow, did not know that.
And I think she's also the lead in that movie, Me Before You. But she is basically, she is the love interest of Han Solo. Which, before I forget about Han, I liked how we found out that he got his last name. Mm-hmm.
From enlisting, right?
Yeah, some random guy was like, "All right, you by yourself, Solo." There's no creativity.
There's your name, homie. We got to put something in the system. The computer say you gotta have a last name, so I'm putting down something for you.
Solo, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I like that little nod." But going back to Kira, she is probably the most complex character in this entire movie.
I would actually agree. Yep.
She, and I get into the fan theory I saw. I didn't fully read it, but I thought it was actually cool. One, she's in the same hood that Han is, and they come up with a plan to escape in the beginning of the movie. And Han gets away, but she doesn't. Mm-hmm. So during the years, because I think we skipped like 3 years.
Yeah.
During the years, she does what she has to survive, which means doing things that she probably wouldn't have done had she had escaped with Han. Mm-hmm. But she does what she has to. She moves up to the rank, and she basically works for this group called
Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn, who's associated to the Empire.
Right.
She plays a very good chess game.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, how am I going to survive? Like, I don't want to betray Han, but I need to survive. Mm-hmm. So I got to do what I got to do. And I like that she, he just rolled back in her life expecting things to pick up. And that was kind of the wrong move on his part. But she's badass, she's smart, she's complex. And she has and she does what she needs to. She makes the hard choices that a lot of people can't. And she says a line in the movie. She says, it's not about winning, it's about surviving.
Yep. The game's not to win, right?
It's just to survive. And she's been doing that her whole life. And I love her character. Now, what do you think of Kira?
I would 100% agree that she's a complex character. Now,
and the funny thing is, I didn't hate her. Even after everything, I did not hate her.
I almost respected what she did, because when they show her, the planet that she lived on with Han was called Corellia. And now they're pretty much just working for this worm lady crime boss named Lady Proxima. And they just have them doing petty crimes or whatever to get by or whatever. So, when Han gets away, I'm assuming on that planet she's waiting around for Han, especially since it's been 3 years, might have been a bad idea anyway. So they might have skipped some information here about how she actually came in contact with Crimson Dawn. But all we need to know is she's the second ranking highest person there next to Dryden. We're gonna one of the main antagonists in the story. Yeah. But we'll get to him in a bit. But yeah, as far as Kira goes, I thought she might not even had all the greatest action scenes in the movie, but I will give her this, that she is one of them characters that has a lot of layers. She's a very dynamic character, definitely not one dimensional at all. Cause she changes from the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie is pretty much two different Kiras. Hell, the beginning, middle, and end of the movie is two different Kiras.
Yeah.
So it's we got a whole 3 different characters from this one person, and she did a good job holding it down too. Actually, I'm lying. She did have a pretty cool action scene at the end. But
yeah, she was fucking shit up.
That's right. I was just saying everything before that. But you know what? I think she probably would have been a little bit less badass with Han, though. But as far as the story goes, I'm not going to write my own story here. She did a hell of a good job, and actually is one of my favorite characters as well.
Yeah. So I thought she was really good. Let's get into Lando. Lando, aka played by Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, whoever the hell you know him as. Mm-hmm. He came off as this slick guy. I know everything. He was smart and he was, capable. he didn't have as big of a role. His robot had a bigger role, so we're gonna include L3 in this than he did. But he's kind of responsible for it. So there wouldn't be no L3 without Lando.
Yeah.
But I thought Donald Glover did fine. He pulled off the Billy D. Williams vibe that he was trying to go for, because that's who played him in the older movies. So I thought that was very good. Again, I don't think he looked like Billy D. Williams, but he did pull off the character of Lando. So I thought that was good. And then you had L3. L3 was funny as fuck. She actually made me laugh. She was basically, I don't know who programmed her, but she was a rebel.
Sassy ass rebel.
Yes, she was. She was like, oh, you're trying to imprison me. Gotta. She was trying to free the robots. Hell, she low-key ripped L3. She caused her own death. In a weird way. Because had they not...
No, she's technically alive, but yeah, that's what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's not in her body anymore. Right. Yeah, because she becomes the Millennium Falcon. Also, I thought it was cool to see that that he originally had the Millennium Falcon. I didn't remember him originally having it.
Well, yeah, the original story was Han Solo won the Millennium Falcon in a gamble from Lando way back, and then she showed the gamble, which, while we're talking about Lando here, I didn't get to my favorite character, but my favorite characters are technically two characters. And it's kind of hard to name a favorite character because Kira is probably, as far as one that I actually like unraveling, probably would be my favorite. But as far as entertainment value on the screen, I do like the relationship between Lando and L3.
Yeah.
Because there's this running joke in there that he was in love with her or something like that.
I think he cared about her as a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think it was a love thing.
There was a funny joke because Kira and L3 were talking about Han and Lando, and L3's like, oh, I couldn't do anything with Lando, and telling Kira that Han's in love with her. And then Kira looked at L3, was like, how would that work? And I was like, I was thinking the same thing, Kira.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
That is your answer. And we were
just would things go? This is not Westworld. I
didn't want to interrupt you, but I just want to say that too.
She is not built to handle that type of equipment. So anyway, I'm sorry. I had to.
Oh no.
Go now.
It's fine. She ain't lying, but she ain't saying so many words. But
hey, I could have said it. I could have said the full word. I said equipment.
That's fine. But yeah.
AKA, no, I'm playing.
Them two, they're my favorite characters. One of my favorite scenes in this movie, by the way. I know we're jumping around here. It's gonna be a little weird to talk about it in order because it's kind of a long movie, guys. And
yeah, we just gonna hit the characters and keep going. So
right, but yeah, one of my favorite scenes in the movie was the gambling scene, the first one between Lando and Han. Now this is Han's I guess maybe I don't know if he was lying about it, but his first time playing Sabak. Mm-hmm. Now, this scene, for some reason, I like movie gambling scenes. One of my favorite scenes for gambling anyway is going to be in 007 Casino Royale.
Yep.
I think gambling scenes are so cool because a bunch of characters trying to read another bunch of characters. And it comes off so cool because it's a mental battle instead of a gunfight or whatever it is. And for whatever reason, Lando almost came off to me as what Han wanted to be as well. This cool, space playboy who has his own ship. He's a pilot. He's really good. He's really well known. He's got connections. He's just got all this stuff going for him. And technically, Han just becomes a almost better version of Lando. Almost. I mean, granted, we never really follow up with Lando later on in the Star Wars stories, but that's kind of the character he was going for, and it came off really well. And L3. Sassy ass black robot. I don't care what anybody got to say. She was sassy. She was a rebel.
How you made her black though? Why can't
she ain't sounded black?
No.
I want to find out who the voice actor for L3 was. I'm pretty sure she got me. If she's not black, that's fine. But she sound black to me. She took for her phone. I can already tell.
I was like, well, where is that? Keep going.
But yeah, that's she gonna do right now. Anyway, do it.
I have a computer.
Yeah, they were good. The gambling scene was dope. The one with where Lando was pretty much about to put up his Millennium Falcon against Han's imaginary V something
it's
space
fake,
name.
So you don't
yeah,
remember.
He was pretty much just lying about one of the fastest spaceships that he had, which I don't even know where it landed as far as ships in the actual Star Wars stories. But yeah, he came off cool. He even had a bunch of character development with L3. Granted, it was a little weird, but it just sort of looked like, he really cared for the L3. L3 was like, was dying because she like, started this whole robot revolution, rebellion, whatever you want to call it. And it just came off cool, man. L3 was just sassy, and she knew what she was doing.
And by the way, L3 is a white, pale woman.
Yeah, she's white as hell. But that's fine. Hey, she did a hell of a good job with L3. I'll give it that. No complaints here. I'll tip my hat all day.
All right. Before I get into, I want to talk about the fan theory about Kira being Rey's mother. What do you think about that?
I have no idea how to plug any of these relations together, because the timeline for it would be a little confusing. Granted, Rey would, I guess the mom would just be really old.
I mean, because like Rey is about the same age as Ben, and so Han would be the same age as Rey's mother if Kira is Rey's mother, so it would work. She just had the kid late.
Oh no! I see. I'm a little weird with the family trees and timelines of Star Wars. I'd honestly have to draw it out in order for me to have like a good idea about what's going on. Like the fan theories, I would like to see how Kira does relate to the story, because I don't know how. I know Red Dawn is a thing, but I just don't know how to plug in all the other dots to like make sense of it.
Would you want her to be Rey's mom?
What? I mean, one is not really like a thing I really care about. I just want to see how it plays out on screen.
Okay.
I'm more about how you're gonna make that work if that is the case. Because Rey. Yeah. See, then that just create more questions for me. Like, why was she left on the planet? Like my original theory that I heard of was since Ben is older, Ben got found out that he's a crazy powerful Jedi, but he got out of control. I thought that they originally left Rey on that planet because they didn't want her to end up that kind of powerful. They didn't want her to find out about the Force. So I figured that's why obviously the parents. That's why I thought that they left her on that planet, because we saw how the last one worked out. We are not about to turn you into a freaking new age Darth Vader, which kind of is what Kylo was going for. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think everything is set in stone as far as like the details on that, because everything I know is a theory, and I'm not really too knee deep into the details like I mentioned before. But yeah, that would be cool though, because as far as I know, if Shanique knows, we like Rey. So I mean, it's not Rey. I mean, we do like Rey, but yeah. I talk about Kira. Like, yeah, I like Kira, and if they find a way to plug her into the story into the future, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah. All right. So next up, let's get into Tobias.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Tobias. Yeah, we should probably talk about Tobias next.
Okay, Tobias plays a big role.
Oh yeah,
in
huge role.
This story. And you know what? We're gonna cover what is it, Draxness or Draxness? What the fuck is his name?
Something Nest.
No, Drac, the guy, Dragon. Kira's boss. What the fuck?
Dryden.
Thank you. Like, answer the fucking question.
Those names were making any sense to me. I'm like, Drax? Like, wrong universe.
Anyway, we're gonna cover both of them. Whatever Michael just said.
Dryden.
Sorry, I don't know why.
Yeah, right. Like I just said.
I don't know what's happening. My brain just took. Anyway, Tobias. We're introduced to Tobias because he pulls a heist during the war that Han is fighting. And Han used to work for the Empire.
Right, because he was enlisted, right?
Yeah, he enlisted, and he got kicked off the Navy thing
before the whole clone trooper thing. By the way, probably it doesn't make any sense to tell you this, obviously, but obviously that's back when people were actual individuals, no clone troopers just yet.
But so he enlisted into the Navy, and then they kicked him out because he didn't know how to follow rules, and then so they threw him into basically.
No, remember, Tobias lied and said, "Hey, this guy's a deserter or like a."
No, but he was kicked out of the Navy thing. He was kicked out, and that's why he was in that mud. Han said that himself.
No, you're right. You know why? Because he was trying to be a pilot first, and that's when he got kicked out.
Yeah.
You're right. I got it mixed up. You're right.
You're right. Anyway, Tobias and his crew, which involves a monkey and this black woman.
Not a monkey.
Look, it's a monkey with a lot of fucking arms. That's what it looked like. So that's what I'm calling it.
Yo,
even though I know it's an Ardenian.
Yep. Yeah,
hey,
go ahead, Shanique. Go ahead,
Hey, okay, and
he was funny.
Yeah, he was. I think his name is Mario. Or no, Ryo. He's Ryo. I remember that part. And him, his woman, and then Tobias was just gonna pull off a heist in the middle of war, and Han realized they were fake. And Han was like, take me with you. And that's where you meet Tobias. And Tobias, he's not, I don't think he's actually a good character. He's not my favorite, though. Like, my favorites are, like, Han, Chewie, and Kira.
Yep.
Yeah. And it'd be Kira first, Chewie, then Han. No offense. Sorry, you come after the Wookiee. But Tobias, he was very fascinating. You could tell, like, he loved his girl, which we'll get into the part, because they pulled off 2 heists. One with Han, and that's where we meet Chewie and Han join the crew. They try to pull off this another heist for that guy that I can't remember how to say his name. Dryden. And it goes to hell, and he loses his girlfriend or his wife. I don't know who she was. Yeah. Never explained it. And they're in debt to the
Crimson Dawn.
And so during this, and eventually Tobias will betray him. I think Tobias, one thing I liked is Tobias' relationship with Han.
Yeah.
Because you saw a lot of sides of him. You saw that he cared when Rio died. Spoiler, Dardanian is dead. And you saw when you saw that he cared about Han, but he loved money more and he loved surviving more.
Right.
And he taught Han a valuable lesson about trusting your instincts and not always trusting people. But Han didn't let that fully corrupt him, but he did listen to Tobias in the end. And he
came in handy later on.
Yeah, and he probably saved Tobias' life too. I mean, not Tobias' life, Han's life with that advice. He said, you'll never get disappointed if you don't trust people. And you saw so many different things about him. He's a very complex character too. That's what I did like about the movie. No one was one dimensional.
Yeah.
Even Lando, but his weird robot relationship was giving me weird Westworld vibes, but it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, Tobias was interesting. He wasn't really a villain, but he wasn't a good guy. He was very gray.
In it for himself, pretty much.
Yeah. He's a, what is it? I want to say...
Anti-hero?
Yep. Yeah. That's basically what he is. He'll do the right thing if it benefits him.
Right, exactly.
And that's about it. But I did love Tobias and Woody Harrelson. I love you too, man. He was really good in this movie as well. And when, Han, had to take him out, didn't really feel bad. I was like, it was coming. Because, he was messing with Chewie.
Hey, Han just became a better Tobias than Tobias, man.
That's basically what happened. And a more honorable one, too.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely like Tobias. What do you think of Tobias?
Tobias was cool. I mean, I feel like he got a little bit darker as a character after his girl died. Because that whole scene, by the way, the coaxium... Well, speaking of coaxium... So, yeah, coaxium is a big part of the movie as well, too. But pretty much the 2 times that the main characters, in some big action scenes... are because they're trying to chase down some coaxium, moving
That's
around the galaxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first scene with them on the train, that one goes wrong because of some marauders, which we'll get into that in a little bit too. The marauders start interrupting them, and because the plan goes to hell, she ended up blowing herself up in order to make sure the plan continues. And I think
she died in vain though. That's the worst part.
Yeah, technically she did die in vain because all the shit blew up anyway. Which kind of sucks. And, Han got punched for it, but it wasn't even Han's fault. Han was just trying to save him. Because, this already went to hell. There's nothing we can salvage right now but our lives. But, yeah. Tobias was a cool character because, he, even at this one point, was like, yo, can you teach me how to do the little gunswingy thing? Because, Han looked up to him at a point. Like, yo, you kind of cool. You looking for a pilot? Because I got you, dog. It was kind of cool to see him, do that and, chase under his shadow a little bit. But it's also kind of cool later on in the story, though, when he kept getting challenged by Han on, following instructions and how to, go through with this plan, who not to trust. Because that he definitely did have his eye, not trusting Kira when she first got involved into the story again after, we found out that she's working for Dryden and Crimson Dawn. But, yeah, Tobias, even his relationship with Dryden, which is kind of granted, it's a business relationship. It almost looked like an actual friendship at one point, but I guess that's like a colonel boss thing to make it look like you're all cool until you fuck up and you're not your own money. So
yeah,
that even that was kind of cool all the way through the movie. Even when he was a good guy or a straight up asshole, he did a pretty good job covering both ends.
Yep, I definitely agree. So let's get into the basically Dryden. What do you think? Which is portrayed. I forgot about the actor's name, but he's Vision in Infinity War. Have you seen that? And he's been in a lot of other British like stuff. He, I don't know what the fuck was on his face. Like someone like took knives and like carved up his face.
It's like a big ass claw slapped him twice. Like
yeah, he lost in that fight. I don't know what happened.
He didn't stand
but he
a
was
chance.
Kira's boss, and he was not as one dimensional because you could tell he loved Kira. Like I think Han and him actually love Kira. But the difference between Han and him is that I think he would have killed Kira. Yeah. Because he's afraid of who his boss is, which, considering who his boss is...
Yeah, very good reason to be afraid.
Yeah, exactly. But I was surprised he didn't automatically try to kill her until, she was like, bring it. But I did love, overall, his interactions. I thought the acting was really good. He was a perfect bad guy in this movie.
He did come off as a threat, too. Like, the typical space crime boss kind of thing, where it's like, yo... I'm just doing this so I don't get killed. So I'll kill you to make sure I don't get killed. Do your job.
Yeah.
Come back with my coaxium. Like, let's not fuck around, please.
Yeah, and he was very serious about it. And I did love his portrayal. So, let's get into the big mission, and then we could talk about the ending.
Okay.
Well, and that's part of the big mission, anyway. Because we're going to talk about the Marauders and all that stuff. So, basically, they fuck up on the first job.
Yeah. Coaxium blew up.
Yep. Bye. So, on the spot, they come up with a plan. Where it's basically they're going to get raw coaxium. They got to race to the factory to refine it before it blows up. And then Dryden was supposed to pick it up with his private army. And Dryden, to make sure everything's done, sent Kira with them. Which I thought was not a good idea. But he trusted her that much. So that shows how much she moved up into the ranks that she sent him there.
And I think it was a test too, because prior to that, he found out that Kira knew him from Corellia or whatever. So he was like, all right, y'all really kissy feely and all that kind of stuff. So if y'all come back alive, that means clearly y'all know how to do the job without letting your emotions get in the way.
Yeah,
it's still got in the way anyway, but
yeah, for the most part.
But yeah, I thought he did that as a test. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So. Basically, the first thing was to get to this place called Castle, right? And Castle's where it's a mining colony where they mine coaxium, and they have slaves do it. And basically, they were going to get into this place and steal the coaxium. So, what did you think of that whole sequence on Castle?
Now, to me, I think the Psalm started and got set up pretty well because they said, even before they got there, that they can't light speed there because it's whole cloud structure in space that they can't really fly through. Now, this comes in important later. I'll get into that because it's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie as well, next to the gambling scene. And, it's pretty much like they got to fly through it at regular, spaceship speed, not traveling at the speed of light. Now, the actual mining colony, seeing all the slaves there, they're acting the part, acting like, they're just dropping off some slaves for trade or something like that. I don't really know.
Which, unfortunately, I guess Han and Chewie drew the short straw because they were the slaves.
Right. So, yeah, I guess Lando's on the ship the whole time, and this is where L3 comes in pretty important.
Yeah.
Because pretty much what's going on is they pretty much just disguising themselves to get inside the mining colony and get down to the coaxium. But in the midst of doing that, L3 starts to improvise. She decides, I'm going to free all of my,
Was this improvising, or she was in her feelings like, I'm going to free you?
You know what's crazy, too, and I find I should say that? One of Tobias's instructions was, do not improvise.
And what does she do?
The first thing she decided to do, you're in shackles? Let me free you, my brethren. And then she frees them, and all hell breaks loose, starting one of the coolest action scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it leads to a whole bunch of shit going on. Hell, even Chewbacca had a little spot in this scene right here, too.
First of all, Chewie's violent.
Oh,
he was fucking
He's
up.
pretty fucked up. Yeah.
He was fucking killing people. He ripped off people's arms.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Disney, so you can't really show the blood. But I was just like, damn, I don't remember him being violent like that.
Right.
I missed something.
He was always violent, but never gory violent. He had his own gun who would shoot people with and whatever, and explosives and all that. Because he knew how to fly, he knew how to use bombs and shoot big guns. But the hand-on-hand stuff from Chewie, I was like, I ain't trying to have that.
No.
'Cause even the first scene where Chewie was in, That looked like a straight up horror movie. That looked like straight up Bigfoot trying to fight a tiny
I know
man.
they called him the Beast,
right?
And like I knew it was him, though. I guessed that right.
And this is a good job for Shanika. She definitely did. I didn't see that. I thought they were going to save it for later in the movie, but I guess it made sense to put it in early. But yeah, and they set it on pretty well because she was like covered in mud and looked terrible. But yeah, so yeah, this scene right here, a whole bunch going on. All the slaves get freed, all the robots get freed, all hell's breaking loose, explosions everywhere. Han's still going downstairs, and Chewie finds like his old tribe and tries to help them out for a sec. So Han's forced to get the coaxium by himself.
Yeah.
Now on the way back out, because Chewie went to help his tribe starts helping out Han, getting the coaxium out. Mm-hmm. And or real homie here, L3, during the midst of all this,
takes that L.
Caught a couple L's in the chest.
A couple L. They shot her up like no problem. And then Lando's like L3.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
this
is stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know that was his homie, but I'm just thinking like, yo, this is very dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, it's because she doesn't look human that I can't care. I'm sorry.
We don't know how long they've been traveling together too, because he's been saying that she could use some upgrades here and there. But like I said, it might have been like, especially in the Star Wars universe, humans and droids, they're pretty close. Yeah,
like Westworld close, right?
No.
Hard
pass. No.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they're the same.
No, wrong universe. Sorry, that's a galaxy far, far away too. Hey,
in the future, they already got them. They already got rollers like that. Just saying.
Hey, listen, we talking about something else. There wasn't enough of L3 to you do anything with anyway. So let's just move on past that weirdness.
Kira had questions. I have questions. I want answers.
I don't have those answers for you.
Damn. All right.
Be weird. You can be weird and tweet the answers out and make our Twitter wall look really freaking stupid. But
it's ours. So
that's fine. Do it. Go ahead and help Shanique out here. But yeah, that whole scene led into one of my other favorite scenes now.
Yes.
Which I want to know what you think about this one right here.
Okay, so the whole castle scene, I thought it was really good. I mean, I was a little pissed about what happened, but it was in character. Like, I knew it was plot device happening, but it was so in character with the way they set up. I wasn't mad at it. I was like, yeah,
it got handled well considering who they are.
This is stupid, but yeah, I fucking feel you on that. Then they basically escape, right? L3's basically almost dead. And then they, because of the rebellion, things that she started, the Empire shows up. And they start chasing them, and they have to go a very different direction to get out.
Right.
And we're meet with this octopus thing.
There was a name for it, and I completely forgot what the hell it was.
Don't even care. It looked ugly as shit. It had like 100,000 eyes, and it had tentacles
everywhere.
And then there was a big black hole, and like fuckery happened, and they just made it. I thought, first of all, that scene actually, I mean, there's no suspense because Han Solo doesn't die, but it makes you like really pay attention and like follow it. And I'm like, yo, how the fuck are they gonna get out? Because I was like, they're not gonna get sucked in and then somehow end up there. No, but they actually got out, and Han really stepped up and saved the day. So I really like that whole sequence for Han himself. I thought that was really cool.
I thought this was cool too for Han, mostly because this is the first time he's actually flown the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Because before, it's not his first piloting scene in the movie, but it's just because the first time was with the first coaxium mission.
Yep.
With a train. They weren't moving nearly as fast. But like this one, he's like putting pedal to the metal, and Chewie was even helping him to fly the plane because Kira didn't know what the hell she was doing.
Yeah, Kira never learned to fly.
Right.
She learned to bust ass though, but just not to fly.
Definitely.
But yeah, I agree. And then find out that Chewie's like 190, which is a scene from the trailer. I thought that was still pretty funny.
But yeah, that was cool. I mean, the whole escape from the black hole, gravity well thing was cool. Seeing that giant octopus thing die, even though it's the size of a fucking planet. That whole sequence was cool too. I don't know how the hell it survives in space, but whatever, Star Wars logic. But yeah, and seeing the little last spot here where like they use some of the coaxium, the unrefined coaxium, so like the pure shit, which is apparently really freaking unstable.
That they could only use a drop of it.
They said they only put a drop of it in the Millennium Falcon, and the Millennium Falcon hauled ass out of there.
Yeah, I see why they want it.
It got the fuck out of Dodge, and that's just from one drop. And I'm like, okay,
That's like some nuclear power shit.
Right. And then this leads us now to the Sabarine, I believe it's. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Right, some weird name. Yeah, so Sabarine or whatever it is, and to finally get the thing refined because all that coaxium is
about to blow up.
Getting too hot. Yeah, it's about to get too hot, and
it went from blue to red.
Yeah, right. And we saw early on in the movie too how powerful it was because when they dropped the one container of coaxium, it leveled a fucking mountain. And like they have the pure shit with them now, which is probably more than what it was worth in the beginning of the movie. So that would have been like a couple nuclear explosions or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But yeah, last part of the movie here now.
Yeah, so we're at the last part, and this is where we're introduced to the AKA Marauders.
Well, we don't introduce them here. They're in the first part.
Well, you know what I mean, like actually see their face. That's
okay,
what I mean.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, okay, so like they had the leader of the Marauders, which would explain they're not really they're rebellions. They're like made up of people whose planets were taken over by the Empire.
Well, by Dryden and Crimson Dawn specifically too.
Yeah, but they're part of the Empire. So that's why I didn't separate it. But the leader like pulls off her mask and it was this dramatic revealed and I was just like, am I missing something? Yeah.
I looked around the theater like, do y'all recognize it? Because I don't recognize it.
I know, we had a little boy in the back who was like saying, ooh, Chewbacca. And the mom was carrying on. They were Star Wars fans behind us. The mom and her son. I
actually enjoyed their company because like, they had fun watching the movie and I had fun watching the movie. So like, we're all on the same page here. And you're not being annoying like they were in some other movies, but whatever.
Yeah. But I was just like, it was such a dramatic reveal. I guess maybe because she was so young. Or maybe she's a character that we don't remember.
I think that's the case here. Especially because of some line that she said, something about like, it's something that's going to start a whole like rebellion or resistance or something like that.
I think what these people are the original rebellion.
Right.
Before New Hope.
Right.
So, yeah, I was just like, who the fuck is this? It was very dramatic. And then they told the story and then Han finally got what was happening. So I thought that was cool.
Right. And then we get led into the whole thing with Dryden now where they come up with a plan to like double cross Dryden.
Yes.
And it didn't really go according to plan because plot twist. One of our not necessarily one-dimensional characters, Tobias Beckett. He ends up pulling off a whole thing now too, where he's into it for himself. Enfys Nest. Oh, I didn't know how to pronounce that. I've been saying something else the whole time.
I thought that was like. Enfys Nest, which is the girl who's the leader of like the rebellion in this movie. I thought I thought that was the group's name.
The Marauders?
I didn't realize it was actually her name until I looked it up just now. But anyway, keep going.
But yeah, so they're planning on double crossing him, especially using what's the name? Let's see here. Kira, using Kira as a chip in how to like double cross Dryden, but Dryden pretty much triple crossed them because Kira kind of helped out a little bit too. Tobias definitely freaking helped out because he gave him some insider information about what's going on. Like they got an ambush at the bottom, but then Han, for some reason, is one step ahead of everything else. He ends up brokering a deal with Enfys Nest because like they found out this whole thing about Crimson Dawn fucking up everybody and all this stuff. So like, they broker a deal behind Tobias's back to like expect the ambush and whatever, and then even Kira comes to save the day while Tobias makes off with Chewie and the coaxium. But yeah, it was pretty cool too because this is where you actually see Kira do some actual shit too. Because granted, she has some action scenes.
She does come through a lot during the actual mission.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like during the second coaxium mission, she had like a couple scenes like she threw some grenades or some big ass like guns or whatever.
Yeah.
But like right here, I thought it was cooler because like she had like this whole sword thing, and Dryden was using like his little laser knives to like fight and whatever.
Yeah, and like one thing I love about this final action scene, like this big final action scene, was that you couldn't tell what Kira was thinking the entire time. Yeah. Like at first I'm like, okay, she's gonna betray Han here, but then she didn't. It was Tobias. Then I thought, oh, she's gonna, since I thought she was on Dryden's team, I was like, oh, she's gonna do it here. And then she's like, no, she went after that. And then Then she betrayed Han. And I was like, I didn't know what the hell you were thinking the entire
She
movie.
betrayed everybody but Kira. She betrayed everybody.
Word.
Kira was on Team Kira.
Yes, she was, but she knew that. She even warned Han. Like, that's not what we about to do here.
Right.
And you could tell like she loved Han, but you couldn't tell what she was thinking in the entire scene. Like, I felt like if she really thought she had to kill him to survive, that nigga would be dead.
Oh yeah.
There will be no Ben.
I feel like there might have been a slight exception for Han, but not for anybody else. I feel like, I mean, granted, she did let Han get away with the coaxium as well, because she did lie to the boss of Crimson Dawn, who I guess you may as well say it now. It was freaking Darth Maul, and this is the first time on screen, I believe, that he's ever uttered a word. I know he's spoken in like animated movies and TV shows, which are technically canon. And apparently, according to that canon as well, he's technically not even dead. Apparently, like only because he got cut in half, the lower half of his body is gone, and he turns like this like half human, half like spider robot thing with like a lower robot body or something like that. And it looks a little ridiculous to me, but apparently he's still alive in the continuity. But yeah, I thought it was cool too, because like she made up this whole lie about Dryden dying, about the guy that about Tobias killing Dryden. Then Tobias getting away. Then Han Solo. I guess.
Well, it was like a partial truth. She twisted truth.
Yeah. She twisted the truth, right?
But she
twisted it in a way that Han wasn't gonna be on Darth Maul's or Crimson Dawn's radar to get killed. Yeah. So she twisted it just enough to get her ahead, take Dryden's ring off, and become the new boss of Crimson Dawn, while still looking out for Han and the coaxium that got escaped.
Yep.
So like she had like a little soft spot for him at least, which is kind of cool to see on her end.
Yeah, that whole sequence was my favorite scene in the entire movie.
But yeah.
I don't think anything's better than that.
I think that as a character, she might have almost overshadowed Han as far as a character. Like, don't get me wrong, Han's an excellent character. He's already developed himself in the Star Wars stories as like a freaking legend.
In this movie, though, I think she's a better character.
Yeah, as far as character development goes, that nod goes to Kira, and she got handled really well too by her actress. So yeah.
Basically that whole ending was really good, and I like it. Could lead into sequels if they try to make this a trilogy. Depends. Here's the thing, a lot of people didn't go to see the movie, so it might not happen. But originally, I think this was supposed to be a trilogy. We're just gonna get 2 more solo movies. I'm
okay with the with side stories being completely different characters at this point, because now I'm fully convinced. Granted, it's only 2 movies in, that they can do really good Star Wars story movies without the main continuity happening. Like right now, with like what I said before, I'm really freaking excited. If Shanika's right about this whole Boba Fett thing, I'm like on board. I'm ready for that one. He's one of my other favorite characters in the story. Like, Shanika's not really too familiar with him, but he's kind of a badass. He's technically died like a couple of times and still lived in the Star Wars story, and like in Star Wars, like like main story.
Yeah.
But people don't really talk about that. We just know he got eaten one time on, I think, Tatooine or by a Sarlacc, and for some reason still alive. But whatever.
Yeah, and like also, if they keep doing this, I heard they were gonna have to recast. They're gonna have to recast Luke because they need a younger Luke.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to recast Princess Leia. Yeah. And whoever gets that, you guys better step up.
Y'all bar got set so impossibly high for you, yo. Like, I thought it was gonna be set high for Han, but he handled it pretty well. Just as far as look goes, it wasn't like 100% on, but it doesn't really matter because he got handled well as a character.
Yeah.
But I think even higher than that, unless you're a character who wasn't really expressive before, you have a lot to live up to.
Yeah, definitely. But do you have any predictions about where Han's story can go, or are you satisfied?
I mean, right now they already led into like how he starts working for Jabba the Hutt, which I guess took a couple years because he's kind of an old man in A New Hope.
Yeah.
So I guess Harrison Ford was already Harrison Ford years old. So he
was young in New Hope.
I mean, yeah, he was younger, but I don't want to say like a young. He's like a grown ass man in that one, pretty much though.
But he had to be like early 30s. He was not that old.
I mean, fair enough, but I think
because he was still doing. I think he was like early 30s, late 20s. I don't think he was old.
Fair enough, but yeah, I mean, he's got options right now.
Yeah, definitely. But giving my closing remarks, I already said see the movie. We spoiled the movie, but you still could see it. Basically, I would say definitely this is a good movie. It's a movie that you can enjoy without liking Star Wars. It's a movie that you can enjoy just from the acting. The story's solid, the acting's solid. There's not really many downsides to the movie for me. So I definitely...
That means a lot coming from Shanique, by the way, guys. Because if y'all seen the last Star Wars podcast, heard the last Star Wars podcast.
I didn't hate the movie. I just had a lot of criticism. There's a difference. There's a fucking difference. But that movie, part of The Last Jedi was boring. Okay, I hate to say it, but part of it was just boring. But Luke did look badass in it. But the way he died was just not heroic. It's a thing. I don't want to get into it. Just watch the podcast.
It's a Jedi thing. Listen,
watch the podcast.
Yoda and Obi-Wan went out the same way, where like they just disappeared. Okay, that's kind of just what they do when they die as Jedis, I guess. I don't really know, but like I did like the little switcheroo though. Then again, like I said, it was like what Shanique said actually.
Just watch the podcast. Exactly.
Or listen to the podcast.
Yeah, but definitely a movie. Solid story, solid acting. It was really great to see it in theaters, and it had really good acting. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. This is a movie. Yeah, right. I forgot. Sometimes I gotta register in my head that you're saying a movie for Star Wars because I know how you feel about it sometimes. But I'm glad LucasArts and Disney did a good job to impress Shanique to give it an A. So that's good.
Yes. Anyway, what I was saying was solid acting, solid story, good action, good twist. Some are predictable, but the way they executed it was really, really good.
Kept it fresh.
You're closing?
Go see the damn movie. It's great. That's my closing remarks.
Okay. Fine. Guys, hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast and let us know if you agree. Is this a good movie? Or
we're talking out of our ass here.
Yeah, basically. Also, you can find us on any social media sites, including Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube, all under Echo Underground Podcast. You can also find us on any podcasting apps if you want to listen to us on your phone. Just search Echo Underground Podcast and you can subscribe or follow and leave comments, and we do read them. See you guys next episode. Bye.
See ya.